On this week's episode of the All About Hennessey show, Jason Sternberger enlightens us on esports. What the heck is esports? Hennessey Police Chief Ed Quengiano fills us in on all the new improvements in the department. And we visit with Hennessey High School girls softball coach Lee Linsenmeyer. All this and more on this week's All About Hennessey show. This show made possible in part by Cimarron Electric, serving Northwest Oklahoma with clean, reliable power for over 100 years. CimarronElectric.com. And DK Recycling of Hennessey, 405-853-6951. Hi, Jason.
Hey, how are you, Jack?
Good. We had a really exciting night the other night over at the Early Educational Center.
Yeah, the Heritage Night?
Yeah.
Very neat.
That was like big time.
It was.
I went back, I figured it was going to be like a couple little tents and stuff, and there was
12, 14 probably?
Yeah, with the band and
some food vendors.
All different kinds. There were food, if you didn't get there, there was food from almost every nationality, I guess, that would be
represented here.
Yeah.
And
it was fun putting them together. There was somebody gave me a little cup of, I don't even know what it was. It was like coconut, and they said that was Indian, some kind of an Indian dessert.
Yeah.
That was pretty fun.
I think the main ingredient in that, he told me, was rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Very cool. So what did you have? I had to have a hot dog.
I had to have a hot dog, and then
tacos
some
were excellent.
Chicken and noodles, and the line to get the tacos and burritos was too long when I was there, so I settled for a hot dog and chicken and noodles and a couple kolaches.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do the kolache. In fact, I think I gave you a thing to put your kolache in, but the kolaches were
very good.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's really specific to this area too. You go out much past this area, and people would know what a kolache was. Pretty neat.
Very good. They need to.
Now, there's something really big happening behind the Early Education Center, the Outdoor Learning Center.
Yeah, where we had Heritage Night.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, that, if you went and didn't understand what that was about, all of that fenced-in area behind is going to be an outdoor learning center of sort.
That is right, yes. And so that area where parents will pull through and drop the little ones off of a morning. You got a side on the east and the west side of that, and the area we're talking about is just right directly on the west side of the Early Childhood Center. And so, Miss Mack, kudos to her and her teachers of just trying to, find ways to do something different. And so they've got an area. We're looking at putting a little stage where that band was performing at Heritage Night, and putting a little permanent stage there. And then we've got 4 or 5 different learning areas. And it's just, I think it's an unlimited amount of options available for whatever comes across, because just like I was asked at the board meeting, what's the time frame and what's the budget, and really there's not any, because there's so much that can go into it at first. I know we're going to do some things and put some sidewalks in, and she's got her stations put out, but I mentioned to the board, and I've mentioned to Miss Mack about that's a great area to look now for an outdoor turf in the areas where there's grass, because our maintenance guys will be weed eating around that. That's going to blow into the learning centers and everything. Or then you build a couple canopies, which you could go get a carport for $700, or you could have a nice pergola. So when I say it's unlimited, it's not like we're just going to keep throwing money at it. But they talked about a water station. So in a couple years, if that's where its course, we may put in a whole new module of some sort, or we may add to it. So it's going to be a continuing project.
The sketches I saw, or the materials they were going to build this out of, weren't just like plastic furniture and things. This was like kind of Leonardo's. Have you been to Leonardo's?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Really upscale, nice.
Very nice. I mean, we don't want to do this, half speed by any means, and we want to put good money into it. That's something that's going to last for the kids, and something that they look forward to and can get outside. And on nice days, or if it is raining and you're under a canopy, they can still be outside, not in the mud if it's outdoor turf. And there's just things that continually build on. But I think it's a great idea. So, like I said, kudos to Miss Mack and the teachers down there for getting this started.
And then at the school board meeting last week, the board did approve some spending some kind of money for it?
Yeah, we got some shelves going in. They've got an art area, and so there we're just putting in some outdoor storage cabinets. That way they can keep their art supplies out there. So it's pretty minor at this point in time, but I think there was a couple grants that they've applied for different things through the foundation, which foundation will meet the 28th of this month. And then they've asked for some stuff locally that I just, we're going to take care of, and when we get more prices on it, and had a couple of local vendors that help, have said that they'll help out and knock back some costs, like on concrete work and just some different things. So I mean, it's a true community involvement, trying to get different people and different businesses and organizations where they actually have a stakeholder in it.
I think as the ball gets rolling and people realize just how cool this is, I think it'll really.
I think so. Yeah.
It won't take a lot. Now, this one intrigues me because I get to sit in a chair, I think. But what in the world are esports? I heard you talking about that during the school board meeting, and it's like it's a real thing.
Oh, yeah, it's very real. And a few years ago was when I first heard about esports. And we were at the National Federation High School Summer Conference, and they were explaining what esports is and how this is, really being introduced to schools nationwide. And then they're showing the growth rate of this, and what it is literally just video games, and they have competitive leagues for video games. And the OSSA, which I serve on the board, there's 15 board members on that, but we did approve that we are in contract with a company called Play Versus, and it's PLAY and then just VS. So anybody can get on their website. They offer 7 different games, if you will. Madden is one of them. FIFA. They've got a couple strategy games. And everything is
so this isn't just
non-violent.
This isn't athletic.
No, it's not just
This is
athletic.
like using your brain stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yes, very much so.
Oh,
and so
okay.
these teams can sign up, and so we're actually supposed to have a rules meeting, I think, later on. I may have missed the email, but I know OSA is going to still give continuous directives on this. And so there's going to be 2 seasons. There's a fall and a spring season. The fall, I think we're kind of using it as a trial run. They're anticipating about 60 schools signing up for this. This has already been in Oklahoma. There's already multiple leagues across the state that schools have already formed esports teams. And of course, you've got to have a gaming system, and these aren't just regular laptops that you're going to get. You're wanting something a little faster and process more, and there's certain controls, and there's a lot to learn about it. And so, it's something we're definitely going to explore. It's an opportunity and avenue for kids who, like you said, may not, maybe physical activity with actual sports is not their thing, or limited, and so other kids can go in and these competitions. So say that Hennessey becomes a school that does this, and then down the road, if we, you have meets during the week, you have to have sponsors. We'd have to find space to do this, but it's not a travel. If we're playing, you remote in. It's right there, so there's no travel. And if you'll look at this, and I know this is crazy, but like Staples, they'll host these national, world competitions, and they're everywhere, but they'll draw 60, 70,000 spectators to watch people compete at video games. And so you could have, if say that we had 3 or 4 teams of Madden competitors here at Hennessey, we may have 2 or 3 of this other game and 1 here. And so there's got to be, that's what we talked about is at the OSA meeting is, how are the classes going to be determined? Does only one school get 1 team? Because, this is I think they projected the first year maybe 60 teams join the OSA because they think some will still stay with their leagues that they're in. They may be tougher, for example, or whatever the reason is. But they showed, when they talked to a couple years ago about the number of schools in the nation that are on this, the number just quadrupled. And I think there's currently 23 states that have now adopted to where they've partnered like what Oklahoma has. And so there will be an OSSA state champion in these 7 divisions of esports that we've adopted. Wow. And that'll be in the spring. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
And like you said, it opens doors to kids that might not be physically able or care about physical sports, but they're really into computers.
Exactly.
And, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, just another avenue to get kids involved in something.
Yep. Very, very neat. So we've been struggling with this track a little bit.
Yeah.
And we had another backup this week. sort of?
Yeah, I mean, we were out on a limb. We had taken an application to the board as part of the COVID money, the ESSER 3. If they have allow for a construction application, which if you can show is to prepare, prevent, and respond. Basically, they don't want you to create space of some sort. So we were hoping to justify that outdoor classroom could be used for the PE and for different classes to be able to get outside. And we knew it was a stretch, but nonetheless, we put in for the application. The board approved, put in for the application and found out that it had been denied. So now the next step is, we still want to get the track finished. We're going to visit our options about what we can do with local funds that we currently have. And so we should be in good shape. I think it may be a process that maybe we can pay for it out of one fund and pay for it all together. If not, we may have to look at a lease option. Maybe pay it off in a couple years, but I think we can still move ahead on it. And so, getting with that information, then I'll take that to the next board meeting and hopefully have some finite numbers for the board.
Once again, it has great value for outdoor learning, kind of like you're saying, but if we can host some events.
Yeah, and get people into the community.
That's economic development stuff.
Exactly, spending money in the community and bringing people here and, going back to your Little League Olympics and, but that's the key is not just to fix this up so we have a place just to practice. Let's start getting some more track meets in. Let's start putting in, trying to get some regionals here, just different things. Try to promote it where the community comes up and uses it more and feels safe to do so. Because if somebody goes out there now, there's
kind of dangerous.
Well, yeah.
It's got potholes.
Well, the potholes are the core samples that they took. I had somebody say it's bubbling up from the bottom. No, it's not. It's not that. Those were intended. Those are core samples. We knew they were going to get fixed. So those four that are out there are good. But there are other areas where there's cracks, and little kids not paying attention and adults not paying attention. You could easily roll your ankle out there. Yeah, and so.
And it's thick. I didn't realize the cushiony stuff was that thick. It's a couple inches thick.
Yeah, it's fairly thick, and then it sits on top of the asphalt.
Yeah.
And
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
That's a wrap. Don't go away. When we come back, we speak with Hennessey Police Chief Ed Quengiano. This show made possible in part by Integris, Bass Baptist Health Center, IntegrisOK.com. I have Hennessey Police Chiefs Ed Quengiano. Did I even get close?
You got close.
Okay, say it right.
Quengiano.
Okay.
Don't worry, I've been married almost 20 years. She still can't pronounce it.
Your wife still can't even pronounce it.
Yeah.
I love it. So you've been in Oklahoma since, how long have you been in Oklahoma?
I moved to Oklahoma in 1989. I was with the United States Air Force, and I got stationed at Tinker. Well, I fell in love with Oklahoma, so when I separated out of the Air Force off active duty, I just managed to stay here. I love Oklahoma.
And you were with Bethany Police Department for like 20 years?
Yes, I was with the Bethany Police Department for 20 years, retired in 2016 as a lieutenant from there.
You're too young to retire.
Well, I'm retired from the Air Force also, because I stayed in the Air Force Reserves too.
A double retiree. I like it. Yes. I'm working on that. And then you ended up in Arizona.
Yes, in 2016 when I retired, I was given a job with Taser, the weapons manufacturer, and I became the lead instructor for the company and I was in Arizona for 3 years. I lived in Arizona for 3 years.
That took you like all over the place, didn't it?
It took me all over the world teaching Taser, yeah.
Wow.
It was a good job, though. It was a good job, but we missed Oklahoma. Me and my wife is from here originally. And we missed Oklahoma and decided to move back. I have children and grandchildren here, so it was just a calling to come back.
And I got an opportunity to come to Hennessey.
Yes.
And then about a year ago, you became chief.
Yes.
Yep.
About a year ago, I became chief, and I love this community. Love it here. It's a lot of great people. I remember I got asked in Arizona. They said, "Well, you're going back to Oklahoma," and I said, "It's a pretty state with a lot of pretty people, so it's time to go back."
I was taken when I moved here 40 years ago. I was taken by the friendliness. It was like I was suspicious.
Yes,
you
walk
why
down
are you
the
so
street.
friendly?
Yeah, you walk down the street, you say hi, and somebody says hi back. That's uncommon.
Yep.
In other places, I should say.
So, since you've been the chief, you've made a lot of changes. You're making the department is progressing. I remember years ago, all the cars were different colors or the different makes and models and different. It was just whatever decal they could put on was kind of, you didn't know if it was a police car or not. And you've got the entire fleet, the same make, model, color.
Yes, right now the fleet is. Every officer is driving the Ford Explorers, police interceptor models. I inherited a good fleet from the old chief. That was one thing I did.
He got a good start on that.
He got a good start on that. Now I was never very fond of the graphics that he had on the cars before, the black and blue. So I am changing that. I did change that. Right now we have 3 out of the cars out of the fleet already done.
Now your car was the first, and your car is actually a hybrid.
Yes, it's a hybrid.
Something new, and you don't have to plug it in.
No, it's like a Toyota Prius. It doesn't have to be plugged in. The motor running, the gas motor running, charges the battery on it, I guess, is pretty much what I've been explained to me. I'm not a big car guy, but that's what's explained. And half the time the car runs off the battery, half the time it runs off.
So when you sit a lot, waiting for something to happen.
That's where police officers burn the majority of their gas in their cars, is sitting. And most of the time when I'm just sitting in the car, it's not, the motor doesn't come
Car's
on.
off. I've been in it, and it's silent.
Yes.
You hear the radio going or something, but the car's not making any noise. And then when
Yeah.
you need that fast go, and the engine kicks in and
Yes.
pulls you right along.
And it has more horsepower. The gas engine on it has more horsepower than the other vehicles that we have. So it's neat right now, and it's
huge gas savings.
and it is about half the gas savings, just under.
Wow.
The other cars are getting me, this car, the hybrid, is getting me almost double the gas mileage as the other cars.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
Now you've done some uniform standardization and given the guys some proper options.
Yes, we have the duty uniform is back to the just standard blue uniform. They do have the option of wearing the training uniform on duty at times if they choose to do that in colder weather and things like that, because it's a heavier uniform. With the outer vest carriers or the inner vest carriers, the officers can choose which one they want.
Right.
And we're trying to standardize some things and trying to look like a professional police department.
Yeah, it makes a difference when you show up and you're dressed in a uniform rather than just a T-shirt or whatever.
The old chief had it pretty good. I can't complain about that. I inherited a good police department from Hank Weber. I really did. He's the one that gave me the opportunity to come here. He's a friend of mine, and he.
Well, you were assistant chief for a little while.
Yes, I was assistant chief under Hank, so I inherited a good police department, good equipment, and things like that. I'm just trying to clean it up just a little bit.
Yeah, add a little bit extra to it.
Yes.
Now are you still the emergency manager?
Yes, I am the emergency manager
another hat?
for the city also.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, that's very cool. Now, there's some safety things that you've started doing, like body cams. You're wearing one now.
Yes.
All the officers wearing them, and
Right now, all the full-time officers have been issued a body cam, and they're required to wear them. And each one of them wears the body camera. They record all incidents that they respond to, and traffic stops and things like that. So that's a requirement for them. And hopefully by next month or the month after, I'm going to start the reserves. Also, we have enough cameras now where they can sign one out as they come on duty. Also, the part-time officers. And yes, I think it's a big issue for transparency. I believe that and the officers welcomed them when I implemented the body camera program. So they feel that there's a good need for it also to make sure that
it clears up some stuff.
Yes, very much.
Yeah.
And it's done well so far. I've gotten some complaints where I reviewed the body camera and the officer was good,
doing his job.
He did his job well. He was not rude. Even though I get a complaint that they are. So it happens. It happens.
Well, sure.
And it's usually not from our folks here in town. It's usually from people passing through.
That'll wreck your day when you get get stopped for something. But
Yes.
I understand. So now you were showing me the other day at the city council. We had a 2-hour wait during city council meeting, and Ed was showing me the new phones you have with some new software on them.
Yes. Right now, every officer has been issued a cellular telephone, an iPhone, and we have a program named GeoSafe that we put on the phones. So the officers are actually required to carry the phone on their body at all times and be logged into GeoSafe. GeoSafe allows them to, when the dispatcher enters a call for service, they can look at it and all the details of it on their phone. They can actually look at the details.
So if they didn't hear it properly, they can actually see what.
Yes, they can see the
that's
call. Everything
pretty
that
cool.
the dispatcher types in actually shows up on their GeoSafe app on the phone. also gives them directions on how to get to the call if it's outside of the town limits. It gives them directions how to get there. It tells them exactly where it is. And it also pinpoints their position at all times. That way, if I have an officer that actually gets into a foot chase or something at night, in the middle of the night, he ends up in the middle of a field and he doesn't know where he is, which is quite common.
Yep.
We know exactly where he is and we can find him.
Go help him. And
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. That's pretty cool.
We can also, with GeoSafe, we can also see the other units in the county. We also see Kingfisher County, where they are.
Oh, really?
So
So
if
you
they
can
need
see if help is
assistance,
on the way, or
we can see if help is on the way. If they need assistance, we know exactly where they are, and my officers can get to them, and vice versa. It's a very good program that integrates us. Right now, we are linked with Kingfisher County Sheriff's Office. Wacomas Police Department is also linked in with us, so we can actually see where all those units
you can
are.
see the
also.
big picture if something really big is happening.
Yes.
You know, kind of what are they converging or what's
Yes.
going on. Okay. Wow, that's pretty neat. Now, you've got some technology kind of in the works, or I guess your wish list kind of a thing.
Yes. That GeoSafe also has a program where right now when we make a traffic stop or if we want to need information on a vehicle tag or a driver's license, we call the dispatcher. Soon here, shortly, within the next month or two, the officers will be able to run that information actually in the vehicle off of that GeoSafe program also. It actually has the ability to do that.
Okay.
So that is one of the pieces of technology that we have coming where the officers can actually look at the information and have an iPad in the vehicle where they can actually run that information themselves.
And you were saying that they could actually generate a ticket from that, or is that something else?
No, that's something else.
Oh,
that's
more stuff.
I'm sorry, but that's a digital ticket writing system that we also have in the works. That hopefully we're going to be getting soon, which will make it easier for the officer to. It's a time savings. The officer can write a ticket in half the time, or a warning, or a citation, and then it automatically integrates with the court system. So it's going to be
And you can actually
a
read
time
it.
savings. Yes, and we can actually read it. We don't have to depend on the officer.
I don't know what I did. I can't read the ticket.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the people, and the court can read the tickets, and the violator can also read the tickets on the scene because it'll be printed out of a printer that the officer will have in the car. So that's one of the things we're looking at also. We're also looking at, we're going to be working in conjunction with Red Rock and having emergency mental health services on those iPads also, where instead of taking them to a hospital, like if somebody needs some mental health services that we respond to, we can actually put them on those iPads that are going to be in the car, and we can link them to a licensed mental health professional. And we can do that with the iPads that we're putting in the cars also.
Wow. This technology thing is just gone wild. It's pretty.
It's a
slick.
great thing.
You're going to be chasing speeders with drones soon. Now, I understand you're looking for help. You have like 2 positions or a position and a half, or
Right now, we are looking for a lead dispatcher, supervisory dispatcher, and jail administrator, because we do have a 10-day holding jail.
Is that 2 positions, or
No,
one
that is
person can do both?
One person will do both. I'm looking for that position right now, and I'm also looking for part-time dispatchers. So I'm accepting applications for both positions right now.
Okay.
Yes.
Very cool. And I guess they just call the
Yes. All they got to do is
444 number.
call the 405-853-4444.
Easy to remember.
Yes, and they can come by the station and pick up an application, or they can print the application off of a town's website.
Okay.
It's on there also.
Very cool. Is there anything else you want to share?
I think we pretty much
We
covered
did. We got
everything.
the cars. We got the uniforms. Yeah, we're good. Ed's a really nice guy, and I guess I've known you for the year and a half or 2 years that you've been here.
Yes.
And he's very open. If you have any questions, you can give him a call. And he's out in the community a lot. I see him quite often in town. And
Yes, I have very much an open door policy. If somebody wants to come see me, my door is always open for anybody that lives in this town to come in and talk to me. Any concerns. And with that being said, also, I just want to throw one other thing out there. If anybody has any crime, we need to know about it. Even if it's something as simple as a flower pot being stolen off of the front porch, I'd like to know about it because I can't stop crime if I don't know the crime is happening. So that's one of the things I'd like to.
well, you have been And the department's been like this for a while, but you've always wanted your officers and you to be approachable.
Yes, very much so.
You have the school kids come in once a year and go through everything and put them in jail and take pictures and things, and so that's kind of important, is that they can, especially the young kids growing up, understand that the police are there to help them and to be approachable.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, very much so.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Ed.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we talk with Linsenmeyer about the girls' softball team. This show made possible in part by Pioneer. GoPioneer.com. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be sure you never miss an episode of the All About Hennessey Show. Hi, Lee.
How's it going?
I'm good. This is Lee Linsenmeyer.
Linsenmeyer.
Linsen! And I practiced, and I still didn't get it right. I'm sorry. I'm sure I'm not the first one to mess it up.
No.
Lee is the fast and slow pitch girls softball coach?
Yes.
Head coach?
Yes,
at
the high school.
Awesome. And this is your third year.
My third year.
All right. Now, you're originally from, where did you say you're from?
Glencoe.
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 Where is Glencoe?
Glencoe is over between Stillwater and Pawnee. Class A school.
That's it. I think I blasted through there once or twice.
Yep.
And yeah.
They've had some good basketball there.
And you went to OSU.
Yes.
Okay. And you were at Enid first? Was it?
That was one of my early stops, yes. That was
Okay.
probably about my third job, and I was there for about 8 years.
And you had a connection with Hennessey there. Didn't you have a Hennessey coach? Didn't you coach somebody from here?
Yes, our old our girls basketball coach from last year, Ali Singh. I coached her older brother in basketball.
Yep. So it's trading out the coaching jobs
Yes.
there. Cool. And then now you were, this was your first. Well, you were telling me a funny story about how you got into softball, because you were always basketball or baseball.
Baseball,
coach.
yes. It started when we moved to Stillwater. My wife was the head softball coach there. I was the assistant high school boys basketball coach. Mm-hmm. And some things happened where they had to get a new JV softball coach in the middle of the season. Mm-hmm. And the AD said, well, guess what? Your husband's going to do it. And I had never coached softball before, coached baseball, so I knew some of it, but softball rules.
It's still a ball on a stick.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Softball rules are a little bit different, and it was just luckily that next day we were going to a JV softball tournament. My wife didn't have to have a high school game. She went with me and told me some of the different rules and stuff, and then after that I was on my own. So.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, trial by fire. There
Yes,
you go.
yes.
It's your job. Go do it now, quick.
Yes, it was.
Oh, that is funny. Now, so what's the connection with Lisa? Everyone around here knows Bassa. So what is Lisa, an assistant coach?
She is our middle school head coach for fast pitch, and I help her. And then she also is the middle school and my assistant slow pitch coach as well. So she helps me do all the softball.
So the fast and slow pitch thing all confused me. I don't.
Yeah, fast pitch in the fall, slow pitch in the spring.
Oh, see, for some reason I thought they were the same time, but there it is. So the same players a lot of times. Or
Yes,
the same
yes,
team.
yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Just throw the ball a little faster.
Right.
Okay. And so you guys are kind of on a roll. We're filming on Monday. What's the date, Ivan? What's today's date? He's got to look.
20th.
20th. So today's Monday the 20th, and you have a game.
Yeah, against Pawnee. This is our last district game, and it's at home.
And this is the qualifier
yes,
one.
this is the must-win. If we win, we're in the playoffs later in the week, and if we lose, then our season's just about over. Yeah.
Okay, so if you're watching this and they're still playing, they did
Yep,
good.
yep.
Okay. If they're not playing, well, it didn't work out quite so well.
Right.
And you've had a really good season. You've had
Yes.
like some.
We've had a 7-game winning streak, which they said hadn't been done in a long time. We're on the verge of having a winning season, which they said might be 10 to 12 years since the last time. So girls have played really well at times and continue to get better, and we're just crossing our fingers for tonight.
Now you got good and bad. You've got a strong team, but You're going to lose 6 seniors.
Yes, we're going to lose a big core group of those girls that, again, we wouldn't be where we are without them. When I came here 3 years ago, I knew it was going to be a building process.
Yep.
They're the ones who got that started, and we'll credit them with getting us where we are. Next year, 8th graders are going to have to step in and help us out as well.
Kind of build them up for
Yes.
the next 3-4 years, and
Right.
very, very cool. Well, that's exciting. I always joke with any coach that if it doesn't have wheels on it, I don't understand it. And so I go to a lot of these games, and okay, they hit the ball and they ran really fast. I guess that was good. So
Yep.
we appreciate all you do and bringing the girls to where they are. With this kind of a season, and we're excited. We hope you get over this next hurdle. And but you were saying now, if you do go to the playoffs, you have like 3 games in one day.
Yes, a possibility. It'll be a best of 3 game series. Probably, again, everybody still has a game or two to play in the districts. Probably would be Walters, a good 3-hour plus bus drive. Then we play the best of 3. All of it has to be done in one day.
Oh man! Okay.
And then
So
the
you're
winner
being
of that,
punished, you're being punished for winning. kind of.
well, and then the winner of that then goes to regionals the next week and continues on.
Well, get a little bit of a rest before.
Yes,
before you
yes,
go
we
there.
would.
And where are like with basketball, you go to the big house. Where do you play, like regionals and state?
Regionals will be at the number 1 team in one of the districts. State has been at Hall of Fame. They've been under construction. I think it'll be back at Hall of Fame this year, but the last couple of years it's been at Fire Lake and Shawnee because they've been adding all that upper deck and all that. But I think it's back at Hall of Fame Stadium.
I think they're back open. Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
doing
for
that
the
big,
World
big
Series,
major
yes.
remodel and everything.
Yep.
Yeah, very, very cool. Thank you, Lee.
All right. Well, thank you for having me.
You bet. Be sure to click the subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell to be sure you never miss an episode of the All About Hennessey Show. Check out this week's All About Hennessey Post newspaper and subscribe for free at allabouthennessey.com.